Hello and welcome to the MCQ lecture series. In my previous class, I have dealt with the classical theory of employment as well as the criticism of the same. In this class, we'll start with the Keynesian theory of employment. So let's get started. The first question is, the Keynesian theory of employment was put forth by John Maynard Keynes or J.M. Keynes in his Dash works published in the year 1936. The first option is the general theory of employment, interest and money. The second option is an inquiry into nature and causes of wealth of nations. The third option is the principles of microeconomics, and fourth is none of the above. So here the book or the name of the book is the general theory of employment, interest and money, which was published in the year 1936 by John Maynard Keynes, in which we see the mention of the classical theory of employment, and therefore option A, the general theory of employment, interest and money, is the correct answer to this particular question. Let us now move to the next question. The Keynesian theory of employment is also called as what? What are the other names by which you can call the Keynesian theory of employment? Whether it is the supply deficient theory, whether it is the demand deficient theory, whether it is the surplus demand theory, or none of the above. So here the Keynesian theory of employment is also called as, or also known as, the demand deficient theory, and therefore option B, demand deficient theory, is the correct answer to this particular question. I hope the question is pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next question. It says that according to the Keynesian approach, in a capitalist economic system, level of employment depends upon dash. In a capitalist economic system, the level of employment depends upon what according to the Keynesian theory of employment? Whether it depends upon effective supply, whether it depends upon effective demand, whether it depends upon effective population, or it depends upon effective money. So here, whenever we look at the Keynesian approach, the level of employment depends upon effective demand, or you will sometimes see it as ED, effective demand. So therefore effective demand is the correct answer. That means according to the Keynesian approach, in a capitalist economic system, the level of employment depends upon effective demand. I hope this question is pretty much clear. The next question is in relation to effective demand itself, and the question is framed in this fashion. The Keynesian approach suggests that effective demand depends upon dash and dash. We know that level of employment depends upon effective demand, but effective demand also in turn depends upon two important things. And what are they? Whether they are aggregate demand function and aggregate supply function, whether they are aggregate price function and aggregate consumption function, whether they are aggregate consumption function and aggregate investment function, and none of the above. So here, if we look at effective demand, in the Keynesian approach, effective demand in turn depends upon ADF, that is aggregate demand function, and aggregate supply function, and therefore here the correct option is option A, that is the Keynesian approach suggests that effective demand depends upon aggregate demand function as well as aggregate supply function. I hope this question is pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next question, which is specifically talking about each of these. That is, next two questions are going to talk about aggregate demand function and supply function. So let us look at the question. Dash is a schedule of various amounts of money an entrepreneur expects. Here this word is very important. Various amounts of money an entrepreneur expects from the sale of varying amounts of output. Whether you call it aggregate demand function, whether you call it aggregate supply function, whether you call it aggregate consumption function, or none of the above. So here, whenever we see that schedule means a tabular representation of the various amounts of money an entrepreneur is going to expect from the sale of varying amounts of outputs, you call that to be aggregate demand function. So here aggregate demand function is the schedule of various amounts of money an entrepreneur expects from the sale of varying levels of output. I hope effective demand in turn depends upon aggregate demand function and supply function. The first part, which is aggregate demand function, is pretty much clear. Let us now move to the next question. It is a similar sort of question, but here we are looking at aggregate supply function. So here the question is framed in this fashion. Dash is a schedule of various amounts of money an entrepreneur must receive. Here he or she was expecting to receive. Here he or she must receive on sale of varying levels of output. So that is why expects from the sale of varying levels of outputs and must receive from the sale of varying levels of output is very important in these two concepts. So here again it is a schedule, that means tabular representation of various amounts of money an entrepreneur must receive on sale of varying levels of output, and the underlying options are A, aggregate demand function, B, aggregate supply function, C, aggregate consumption, and D is none of the above. So here we know what aggregate demand function is. Now this is talking about aggregate supply function, that is aggregate supply function or ASF. Aggregate supply function is a schedule of various amounts of money an entrepreneur must receive on sale of varying levels of outputs. So therefore aggregate supply function is the correct answer to this particular question. I hope the concept of effective demand, aggregate demand function as well as aggregate supply function is pretty much clear, because the level of employment in the Keynesian approach depends upon this. That means if we have the Keynesian approach here, if there is level of employment, this level of employment depends upon effective demand, and this effective demand in turn depends upon these two important factors, aggregate demand function as well as aggregate supply function. So this is very important for the Keynesian approach towards understanding the level of employment per se in a capitalist sort of economic system. We'll later on see how this table can be further elaborated, but in the subsequent lectures I'll talk about the same. Yeah, so I hope these two questions are clear. Let us now move to the next question, which is talking about, according to the Keynesian theory, an economy can be in equilibrium at dash. According to the Keynesian approach here, Keynesian approach, an economy can be in equilibrium at full employment, at less than full employment, at full unemployment, and none of the above. So here we have already studied the classical approach, and in the classical approach we have seen that the economy is said to be in equilibrium at the level of full employment or near full employment. Therefore in Keynesian approach this cannot be the answer. That means this is the classical approach. Okay, classical approach suggests that there is full employment or near full employment. Full unemployment doesn't really make sense, and none of the above doesn't really make sense. Therefore option B, that is in the Keynesian theory, an economy is said to be in equilibrium at a level of less than full employment. So therefore option B, less than full employment, is the correct answer. That means according to the Keynesian theory, an economy can be in equilibrium at less than full employment level. Okay, so I hope this question is pretty much clear. Let us now move to the last question in this segment, which is talking about the AD and AS model, that is aggregate demand and aggregate supply model per se. According to the Keynesian model, aggregate demand as well as aggregate supply will be equal at the level of full employment only if both these things will be equal at the level of full employment only if the dash is sufficient, only if the dash is sufficient to cover up the gap between consumption and income corresponding to full employment. What will be sufficient, or what is the sufficient condition to cover up the gap between consumption and income corresponding to full employment level for AD and AS to be equal in the Keynesian full employment model? Whether it is investment decisions, whether it is investment demand, whether it is investment climate, or none of the above. So here the correct answer is investment demand. This particularly means that according to the Keynesian model, AD and AS, that is aggregate demand and aggregate supply, will be equal at the full employment only if investment demand is sufficient to cover up the gap between consumption and income corresponding to the full employment level per se. So I hope these questions with respect to the Keynesian theory of employment are pretty much clear. In the next session I'll continue with the same, so please stay tuned for more. Thank you.